Help me! Help me!" cried a strange voice in panic. "Please help me," said the voice again. The three investors, Riley, Julie, and Louie, heard the cry, but were unaware of what to make of it. Julie and Louie continued helping Riley gather eggs in her yard for breakfast. The three enjoyed meeting at Riley's house. After breakfast, they decided to spend a casual day in town. What they thought would be a normal day was anything but average. While walking, they heard a suspicious whisper, "Help me." Still, they were unable to locate the voice. It was not uncommon for the three friends to begin a day like everyone else, only for it to become sinister by the day's end. This was such a day. With excitement running through their veins, they knew another mystery lurked around the corner. Julie was the first to notice what appeared to be a strange figure looming nearby. Riley asked, "Is everything all right?" In a weak, quivering voice, a lady responded, "Not really." "What is the issue?" Louie queried. To his amazement, and that of his two friends, the lady said, "I'm not rich, but I am curious if I can do better. I am an average person, but am learning in the financial world that average is not desirable." Continuing to express her concerns, she added, "I have a friend with 2 children who are constantly asking for help, and she thinks she may have waited too long to be able to help them." Riley exclaimed, "I know how you feel. Every day I feel that way as well." Julie chimed in, "There are many people that think that they are in the same boat. I am just learning about investing. Is there anything we can do to help you and them?" "Yes," Louis replied enthusiastically. Acclamation is a destroyer of creativity, of success. Have you ever thought of how school teaches you to be an obedient worker? Did you ever think that school guides you towards a path of failure? Louis asked, "What does everyone ultimately do after graduating high school?" "Many go to college, and some start working," responded Julie. Mrs. Smith, the woman we were helping, stated they rely on their parents for a lot of financial support. Riley said, regardless of whether they go to college or not, they ultimately start working. Louis pressed them further. "True. So what is common in the original question and in what Riley presented?" After a moment or two, they all uttered, "Everyone." With a smile on his face, Louis asked, "Is this average?" Our mystery lady, Mrs. Smith, was beginning to see the issue and shouted, "No!" Louis declared in a matter-of-fact tone, "School teaches us average in the wrong way, and unfortunately it stays with us for life. Your grade is average, above average, or below average." Riley, who understood, proved the point, asking, "You start working, and what happens?" Continuing, she said, "Your pay raise is the same as everyone. It is not average, although your employers use the word average to make you feel good when you get maybe 1% above average." Mrs. Smith chimed in, "Yes, but who gets an above average pay raise? The young worker who earns little money." Louis explained, "You may think this is trivial, but do you remember what I said earlier? Average becomes life's norm. In physics and math classes, we are taught average in terms of relationship, not so much as a comparison. For example, what is the average speed of the car or baseball? But grades are comparison. And what is comparison? Julie knowingly responded, comparison is the thief of joy. The financial world constantly keeps us poor by writing about the average salary, the average savings, average net worth, and average retirement accounts. The problem with this is it is useless information. There is no relationship, only comparison. Sometimes they include a median value. What's strange is they think they are doing a good job by categorizing with ages. Mrs. Smith said, "Please help me." Riley added, "Yes, please help me, because I'm afraid of investing in the stock market, even though I know I should invest." Julie turned to Louie and asked, "May I try to help them? I would like to see if I can explain what you taught me, and if I understand as well." With an ear-to-ear smile on his face, Louie nodded yes to Julie. "First, I have no children," Julie informed the group. Since Mrs. Smith does not know the three investors, and Julie was half her age, she did not think Julie, who is new to investing, could help much, especially after saying she has no children. Julie noticed Mrs. Smith's concern and was hesitant to continue. Both Riley and Louie gave her a reassuring nod. "Riley, Mrs. Smith," Julie continued, "giving money to your children is not the best way forward. I am aware you want the best for your children, but what does giving money to your children do?" She paused, waiting for a response. Both Riley and Mrs. Smith responded at the same time, saying, "It helps them to get their feet on the ground." That is what we say, but in reality, we remember our childhood and how no one helped us and how good we feel when we see our children succeeding, Julie articulated. Riley beamed at her friend's insightfulness. Mrs. Smith felt a sense of relief hearing someone speak so profoundly. She knew she came to the right place for help. Now, with renewed confidence, Julie spoke louder, saying, "The reason giving money to your children is not the best is it hinders them. Think about it. It basically teaches them that income matters, when in fact, income does not factor into wealth for people in their 20s. They need to learn to handle their money by reducing or eliminating debt, spending less, and investing." Riley, I know Clemence is younger than Mrs. Smith's children and still in school, and that you want to make her life easier. In this case, giving money to her directly is different. However, can you cut back? If you are giving her $100 each month, can you reduce it to $75 or even $50? Louis raised his hand slightly to alert Julie that he wanted to interject. Noticing this, Julie turned to Louis and asked, "How am I doing?" Louis told her, "You're doing quite well." But before continuing further with the personal side, add a little more context regarding averages, unless you want me to. Excitedly, Julie responded, "No, I want to try that as well. Thank you." Julie asked, "What do you think of the averages?" Mrs. Smith and Riley said, "The averages are quite high in many cases." Remembering past discussions with Louis, Julie happily continued, Looking at averages is useless and medians are not much better. What are averages based on? The entire population of rich and poor, CEOs and common workers, doctors and school teachers. How does this help us? Do you see why comparison is the thief of joy? First, I will fall below the median because I'm young. Now that I am talking with you and hear of your struggles, I can envision myself struggling later in life as well. Second, I will constantly be below the median since I'm a female. Third, we do not know if these values are based on individuals or dual income families. If they do not consider dual income households, this also distorts the way forward. Yes, Louie does not like these researches because they are biased and non-helpful. Fourth, and probably most important, financial independence is based on an individual, and that does not fall under any of these categories. This goes back to what I said earlier about income not mattering. An excited Julie paused to catch her breath. She looked at Louie, who nodded, letting her know she gave a fantastic explanation of how averages are sinister. With a beaming grin of satisfaction, Julie turned towards Riley and resumed with the personal aspect. It may not be easy, but reducing your financial support teaches Clemence about budgeting because she will see you having to budget. Neither of you may like it. But if we wait, then when do they learn? Mrs. Smith's children are working and struggling. We need to start teaching, which is helping our children sooner. No one heard the birds chirping in the background as Julie spoke. She had captured everyone's attention, unlike ever before. With each word she spoke, she was filled with joy, as she knew she understood what Louie told her. Directing her next words towards Mrs. Smith, Julie added, "You may feel withholding money from your children is painful, but I am not saying don't help. In actuality, I am providing you with a solution far more rewarding. Let's say you are currently giving your children $100 per month. Just like I suggested to Riley, cut back till you're not giving them any money directly. Now, because you both want to help your children, take that money, put it into a mutual fund or a stock. It will be in your name, but you know you set it aside for them. After 10 years, they will have over $10,000. Over time, the compound interest on this money will be significant. You will know you are helping them because you will either have money for them or can use it to take care of yourself so as not to burden them later in life. Moreover, they will learn to budget and live within their means, which will put them on the path of financial independence." Even though Riley and Mrs. Smith were reluctant to do this, they knew Julie was right. Julie was not sure what else to say, so Louie concluded with, "Julie's plan is excellent. The one thing you don't see in her plan is that over time, you and your children will surpass the averages. But if everyone does this, the average will now be significantly higher." Mrs. Smith thanked the three investors as she realized how, with practically no money, the average can increase significantly. This means if we continue using averages as we are today, then we will promote a poor mindset. Before arriving home, Mrs. Smith had already decided that averages in her household would no longer be sinister, since she and her children would become wealthy and donate to charities.